Hey everybody, what's going on? We are here with a timeless reading. Okay, first card we have out is the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles, like when we're about our business, but I'm seeing Eight of Swords here. So what are you worried about? This can be like financial stuff that you're worried about. It can be business stuff that you're worried about. It can be job stuff that you're worried about. It can be, money stuff. Like, think about things that would worry or cramp the style of a King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles is like about their business, showing up to work, taking care of all of their responsibilities, wanting to know that they're doing a good job, wanting to know that they're effective, seen as reliable, seen as able to do what they say they're gonna do. So there's some like anxiety that's worried about this. So this can be like, can I live up to this expectation that I have of myself that maybe this person has of me? Am I able to cover that financially? Am I able to make it there on time? There can be something about that. I get the feeling of this maybe being a little bit of an insecurity here. It's like something that you've signed yourself up for, and now you may be like, I don't know if I can do it, or maybe you're just worried about it. This can also be anxiety, like I'm going into my new job tomorrow and I'm super, super nervous about it. But I'm seeing Judgment on the bottom of the deck. I feel like this is a moment where you may not like be giving yourself as much credit as you should be. Because King of Pentacles is going to get done what needs to get done, right? And it's like, you didn't just get that title from nowhere and for no reason, too. Like, you know how to show up and do what needs to be done. I feel like this is about needing to maybe believe in yourself a little bit more. That you got this, whatever this is that you're stressing over. Hella stressing over. We have Eight of Swords and Nine of Swords. So this is stress and also like fear that's coming up for you too. King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles can have to do with our identity too. Of like, I always saw myself as this type of person. So there can be some anxiety about that as well. Because King of Pentacles, I think of really like a... King of Pentacles feels always very 10th house to me. Like when I show up at work, this is what I show up as. Or when I show up in public, like this is what I'm known for, you know? So it's that sort of like, this is my identity, or these are my expectations that I have of myself. This is my reputation even that I want to live up to. And King of Pentacles is wanting to be like, I don't need to rely on anybody else. I got this. Like, I don't need to ask for help unless I want to. It's sort of that thing where it can sometimes be even like a hyper independence that we feel. But if it doesn't have to do with finances, it can be about like the roles and expectations that we have of ourselves. Of like, I've always been this kind of guy. And maybe now, like, that's in question. But let's get further and see what this is about. It can also be about, like, wanting to show up and do a good job, too. And, like, really, like, am I doing a good job? Am I showing up as best as I can? And, like, I'm not seeing stress in Wands where it's, like, a lot of activities that you have to do. I'm seeing mental stress. So I'm not seeing it be like, you have so many tasks and you need to get organized. I'm seeing this be something like up here that's happening. So that means too that you're able to liberate yourself from this. And it has to do with your state of mind, not necessarily what's going on outside of you. Like, that's the deal with swords, is that, like, it's a reflection of your mental state. It may not be, like, what's actually happening physically in front of you. More swords. 8 of swords, 9 of swords, 2 of swords. I'm feeling anxious. This is bringing up fears for me, and now I need to do something on top of it. I have to make a choice. But we have the Hanged Man on the bottom of the deck, so you may have a little bit of time with this. Or there may just be, Hanged Man can be like, I'm seeing it this way and I need to reframe things. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to get anywhere. You're going to have stuff going on in the dream state. I'm seeing something about a dream catcher here. I'm seeing it be like, time's up, you gotta make a decision, and I'm just seeing like so much stress about this. Like, I do not know what to do here. A heavy weight that's being carried. This Ten of Wands too is like specifically about balance. But it's funny and ironic because in this card, like, this person doesn't even look like they're sweating a little bit. Like, they got this, but it's about balancing things, balancing responsibilities even. King of Pentacles. And it seems like it's a responsibility that you need to call back or answer something or make a decision. But I'm seeing it like really weigh heavily on you. Definitely does feel like time's up here. No. You need to stop. You need to stop right now. What I'm seeing is that why you're so stressed out is because you're thinking about 20 million steps from now. Like, rather than right now, rather than being present, like, your mind is on like 20 years from now. Like, this is completely unnecessary, and it's what's creating what's going on here. You need to pull yourself, all of your energy into the present moment, because you're getting like so in your head, like you're gonna get lost in there. It's like you're living 20 lives out in your head right now, and then you're gonna zip back into the moment. Like, it's really giving a very Nabokov vibe here, where, like, you know, in the stories, for those of you that have read Nabokov before, it'll be like you're hearing like the narrator speaking, and then it'll tell you like the next 5 scenes, and then the person, you'll like realize that it was them in their imagination and those things never played out, and it pulls them then back into the present moment. So it's sort of going to be like one of those things where I'm seeing there be so much anxiety about stuff that's like not even happening right now, and like worrying about stuff that's so far down the line. Like, you see with this card, with this Nine of Wands, it's about the challenges we face, but this card specifically, it's like this person is exhausted and they're thinking about, I have to get all the way over there, instead of just worrying what's right in front of them. And so this is what I'm seeing is becoming bothersome to you right now, because you're capable of eating what's on your plate. As the King of Pentacles, there's no issue with it. But when you're like thinking about all the things you're gonna have to eat like tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day, and making it seem as if it all needs to be done right now, of course you're gonna be stressing out about it. It's like during syllabus week when they're reading you the syllabus in class, and you're stressing out like, how am I going to get all of that done? And it's like, as the semester plays out, you end up getting all of it done, you know, but it can feel very, very overwhelming when you're hearing all of it in that cramped amount of time and wondering how in the world you're going to be able to accomplish all of it. But it's because it's not accomplished all right then. So all you need to be focused on is just what's right in front of you. Easier said than done. And for those of you that like to micromanage and be planning and worrying about everything, it's going to be more challenging to do this, but it's really going to change things for you, because I'm seeing at this point, like, this is not functional at all. And it doesn't need to be like this. Like, I'm seeing you're not having a good time. It's like the bumpiest part of the roller coaster, but we can just smooth this out here. You're worrying about things that aren't in front of you, and it's unnecessary. And you can look at this and be like, how can I be present and only think about what's in front of me? Because what about those other things that are going to be coming up? You can deal with them when they're in front of your face. I'm telling you, it will be a better and more effective way to deal with this stuff. Because all of this stressing that you're doing right now, it's not even getting anything done for you. Like, it's not doing anything for you except making the present moment unbearable, to the point where, like, you're not even present. Like, you're checked out because you're 5 years from now in the future. And it doesn't even have to be 5. It can be like 5 hours from now. It's anything that's taking you away from the present moment. Just focus on what's right in front of you. That's how you get it all done. That's how you do everything. And I'm saying too, you're capable. You're just really stressing yourself out. And for no good reason. Like, this is about needing to practice control mentally and mindfulness mentally and bring yourself back. Because as much as your mind will wander like a dog off of a leash, every time that you realize it's off the leash, you have to bring it back home. And you just have to keep doing it over and over again, and it's going to get easier. But every time you catch yourself not in the present moment, you have to bring it back. Practicing a mantra can be helpful too. Even something as simple as be here now. It's like gonna help you when you start drifting off. Ace of Swords, that mental clarity we've been looking for. Was that what you were trying to get to? I'm also seeing Six of Cups. What's this? So there's a decision that needs to be made, potentially with somebody in mind. It looks like this is bringing up old fears for you, like past fears for you, like maybe stuff from childhood, reminiscent of that. So Eight of Swords is when you feel sort of like, I'm seeing cartoon scenarios play out, like you just crumbling down and like these things coming at you. Like this, you know, you want to like hide away because of all of these thoughts that are around you. But then Ace of Swords feels like being liberated from that, where things are like more so simplified. And you may just be seeing something for what it is now, but I'm seeing definitely like a real fear or some real fears of yours. But these feel like maybe something that you've habitually dealt with. And I'm seeing too that, yeah, old anxieties even. So we're not only having issues with like future thinking, Six of Cups is here too, which can like bring us into the past as well. So like everywhere except for the present. All right. I am seeing the Death card. So maybe something that feels very, very, very familiar and comfortable to you is changing, but you like have the choice whether or not you do this, because I am seeing the Fool. So it's like, are you willing to take a leap of faith and switch things up? When I say switch things up, it feels like this would be an intense switching up of things. I'm not seeing like a simple switching up. This seems like something that could affect maybe many different areas of your life. That's why it feels stressful, and that's why you've been putting it off. Yeah, being in the energy of the King of Pentacles, it's a moment where we really feel the responsibility resting on us, and it can feel very overwhelming because it's like, how am I gonna fill those shoes? Is that something that I'm capable of? I always thought that it was like that person over there that could do it, like not me. So now that it is you, and it's like, get up on stage, King of Pentacles, what are you gonna do? I'm seeing you get like a little bit of stage fright here. But if you just like act out the scene directly in front of you, you're gonna find yourself doing it. It's like you keep wobbling around as you're learning how to ride the bike, but as soon as you like stop worrying about falling, you realize that you're riding it just fine. Having Six of Cups and having Death feels like there's going to be a release of something from the past. Potentially. Honestly, like, I feel like it's going to go in this direction whether or not you're choosing for it to right now. I feel like this is something you're going to be forced into. Meaning, like, something is going to change, and, like, right now you sort of get to have a say in it, but it seems like at some point you may not have much of a say, and it may just happen anyway since we're seeing the Death card. Like, things are going to change regardless, but right now you could have potentially more control over that, is how I'm feeling this. King of Pentacles, Queen of Swords. Duty and responsibility. I feel like you're changing the way that you're doing something. Having Death and then having Queen of Swords come out feels like there can be a different approach. Like maybe before you weren't stepping into this type of Queen of Swords energy, and now you are. Where there's like more of a logical, more of a intellectually engaging, more of a thinking about things, but also more of a speaking your mind too. Because Queen of Swords is somebody that if somebody comes up to them and says like, hey, Queen of Swords, can you do this for me, or do you want to be part of this? Queen of Swords will be like, hold on, let me think about it, and then like give an answer that's actually resonating with them, you know? It's not just like saying yes to whatever. It's about like being very mindful of what we're taking on. And also being aware of our boundaries as well, because that's also another thing with the Queen of Swords. It's us checking in and being like, do I feel comfortable doing that? Do I want to do that? Is that something that I feel like I should push myself to do? Am I taking on too much? And I feel like that's part of what's so stressful at this point, because seeing 10 of Wands above the Queen of Swords, it's like, wow, it can be really difficult moving into that territory of like, now I actually have to check in constantly and figure out what my boundaries are. And I'm not giving answers immediately, and I am learning more and more how to use my discernment, and it can be a very uncomfortable transition moving into that, because you have people that you've always said yes to that now you're like, I don't know, or I can't take that on right now, you know? And so people are going to feel a type of way, possibly. But it's more so about your insecurities, about like people pleasing and stuff that can be coming up for you. Because that's something that like Queen of Swords does not deal with. Like maybe if we had a reversed Queen of Swords, yes, but I feel like this is part of the transition for you where you're like actually checking in, so you're not doing things that you don't want to be doing just like out of habit or out of obligation. So that's also part of what's changing too. You may find like leaning into support to be helpful, because I am seeing the Three of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So this can be like being around a person or people that you feel seen by, that you can have conversations with, that you feel safe with, that you feel understood by, that you feel supported by, that type of thing. Especially maybe with like these new changes that you're implementing now. I do feel like there may be new responsibilities. Yeah, I feel like there are some new responsibilities or like new role or roles that you're playing, and it's like stressing you out because, again, like rather than just facing what's right in front of you, you may be like worrying about things that are future related, which it's not. It's like realistically, like these are things that are going to be coming up for you, but you just don't need to be worrying about them right now. Because like if you could worry about them or focus on them and have it be effective or helpful, like go ahead, do it all day, but it's not. So that's why this needs to stop happening. Like it needs to be toned down at least a little bit, because at this point it's like detracting from your ability to be present. And when you're not fully present in the moment, it means you're like missing things. You may be like hasty making decisions. You're not really paying attention, you know. So even though like you know that it's a challenging time for you, and you also know that you're not exactly where you want to be right now necessarily, or that it's going to take a little bit for you to sort of get to where you're trying to go, having this Nine of Wands looking the way that it is, like I feel very much like you're here and you're trying to get all the way over there as the King of Pentacles. So this can be like, I'm starting a business and it's like not where I want it to be, and I know that I'm gonna have to do so much stuff and it's gonna be such a long journey. But that's also the beauty of it too, you know, when you are facing like a new challenge, if it could just be done like that, what would be the point of any of this, you know? Like why would we even be incarnated here if we could just snap our fingers and have it manifest like that? Like life would be very, very different. So like the point of it is going through this whole journey and all the growth and experience that happens while you're doing it, even though it can feel overwhelming and intimidating, but it can also be very beautiful and joyful and gratifying as well. So well-rounded. This blue-ish, teal-ish, these colors are really sticking out to me back here. It's reminding me of something, I just can't place it. Especially this, like these two colors. Like it's striking for some reason, but I'm not placing where it's from. So you're playing this role, you're feeling like there's a challenge going on right now. You've been experiencing anxiety about it, but now we have the Ace of Swords. So that means sort of like I'm seeing things more clearly than I was before. Nine of Swords, Six of Cups. This is bringing up latent fears. This is bringing up fears from the deep, deep, deep past for me. And it's making this very challenging because I'm feeling somewhat triggered, especially mentally. So there may not be certain things happening maybe technically in front of me, but in my head, I'm experiencing these things presently. So that's what's happening on that front. Two of Swords, Death card. Are we gonna bite the bullet and make this transition that needs to be made even though it's stressful? Yes, no, maybe. It's like we've been putting off this very big change. Like denying it and denying it and denying it. It's like maybe if I close my eyes and don't look, it's not gonna happen, but it's gonna happen. Like the change is gonna happen regardless. And I do feel like maybe it'll be empowering for you to just be like, okay, I'm gonna do it. You know, rather than it happening to you, you kind of feeling like you're making a bit more of the choice here. I think Scorpio is the only, yeah, Scorpio is the only sign that I'm seeing here within this. Big change. And then we have 10 of Wands and the Queen of Swords, which is about you needing to manage stress, manage your mental health as well, Queen of Swords. And you can practice boundaries and also not take on stuff that's adding more unnecessary stress for you. And keep the balance too. I'm hearing something about pressure. Seeing an owl here. Owls are associated with being a messenger, associated with ancient wisdom. I think also like ancestors and stuff too. You may have a guide that you're feeling around you lately, recently, more heavily. I'm seeing like a very, like almost cotton candy pinkish, or even like a mauve and a blue here. Even though you're stressed out, I get the vibe of you feeling like this sense of protection around you. So there can be like the ego part of you may be worried about things, but the like more spiritual part of you, or like your higher self or your intuition, knowing that you're being looked out for. Yeah, I keep seeing signs of that, like your guides behind the scenes watching out for you, but it may not be always in the most obvious ways, but I'm definitely getting there be like a protective presence around you. And I get this being like a bit palpable too. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I am sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.